If you make something interesting and unconventional, the chances are you'll want to show it off. And so-called maker fairs have been popping up around the world to give these tinkerers a chance to set up a table and show us their science. LJ Rich has been to London's first mini maker fair to meet the creative techie types who do try things at home.
Maker Faire is more than a group of people showing off homegrown tech. It's become an international community. 7 years after its inception in San Francisco, where else, it's time for London to host this quirky take on a county fair.
So London's mini Maker Faire is less of an exhibition and more of an interactive experience. For example, I can't get in until I make my own name badge. So I better get to work.
Yes, not exactly cutting edge, but a great illustration of the ethos behind maker culture. Less about aptitude, more about attitude, and a willingness to join in and give it a try. And with over 1,000 attendees of all ages and pockets, the maker business is booming. I asked one stallholder, here with his homemade assistant Ash, to explain the appeal.
We as consumers buy products that people have solved all the questions for us. They've solved all the problems and packaged it and we bought it off the shelf. But sometimes it doesn't do everything you want. And so if you're one of those people who is just a little bit annoyed by that, just get a kit. Look online. There's amazing online communities for this stuff.
And there's a definite correlation between making things and making noise. From renovated kids' toys rigged up to make what can only be described as contemporary music, to the vegetable synthesizer. This uses something called a makey-makey device. Crocodile clips at each end, clip one end to the board and the other end to anything even slightly conductive. It uses the Scratch programming language to set the trigger noise. Don't like vegetables? Fine. Banana piano. And here's where the seemingly frivolous becomes relevant. The tech becomes the basis for a customised experience. And the perfect example of tailor-made tech is the 3D printing revolution. There are printers everywhere. This intriguing setup is a 3D printer hooked up to Minecraft, the popular game. And with the help of an expert, we're going to build something.
What this is doing is allowing us to take, in this case, a BBC logo and print it out from the Minecraft world into the real world. It just so happens that Alyssa is quite a bit better at Minecraft than I am.
Once the design is built, pressing a button inside the world makes a file that's tweaked and then sent to the printer. 6 or 7 minutes later, here's the finished version. Downstairs sees the rise of the machines courtesy of the rep-rap community. They're people who use their 3D printers to make other 3D printers. Those lime green bits, for example, have been printed. They also make other things. Today marks their second attempt to 3D print a bust of computing legend Alan Turing by the end of the day.
We've already had one printer overheat, especially because it's so hot here. But we're doing a lot better today than we did at our previous attempt at the challenge, when we only had sort of 3 out of 10 printers working.
Fact is, they could print whatever they want down here with enough printers and material. The culture supports making something fit to one's own requirements. And that has deep implications for where the technology will take us.
The potential to make custom things, like everything can be one-off. No one has to have something that's the same, which is really amazing for applications like medicine. No two people are the same. So if you needed a hip replacement, say, your hip isn't going to be the same as someone else's hip. But with 3D printers, you can get a custom hip.
The fair itself is one of 80 planned worldwide this year. And if you fancy organising your own, well, you can even make that yourself.
It just seems crazy, the capital city of our country doesn't have its own maker fair, and so I wanted to make sure that we had a maker fair here, and I didn't know how to start, so I just emailed out a few kind of people that were might be interested in it. For me, it's learning something new. I mean, I never used to be able to do electronics or engineering or any of these things, and my sort of skill set comes from a creative perspective.
A lot of the trends on show here are homemade, but look past the DIY and you can see the innovation and, crucially, our behaviour around it. Looks like we truly are capable of shaping our own future.